ready now.
Redeemer is something of a voracious throwback beat-em-up, pulling no punches in terms of action, violence and challenge. Sabaka Studio, after a release for PC in 2017, would finally bring this blood-soaked revenge story to consoles in 2019, along with a suite of improvements born from feedback given to the original release. In a generation where independent developers take inspiration from the past, Redeemer proves a fulfilling take on the genre, which, although basic in terms of mechanics, offers a decent narrative and enough satisfying combat to keep players engaged for a little while. Vasily is a former operative, who after crash landing on a peaceful monastery mountain, becomes a pacifist. Although he's done with his past, a corporation is clearly not finished with him, as the monastery is wiped out by a swarm of attackers. The story is pretty minimal, with most of the exposition coming from beautifully drawn, yet somewhat choppy, cutscenes at key shifts in the narrative. Vasily going from a peaceful monk to a cold-blooded killer is kind of cool, but it's really just window dressing for the meat of the experience, the gameplay.
He was the closest thing I ever had to family. But with all his smarts, Berkut could not convince me to follow him this one last time.
Redeemer is a top-down action game, with elements of beat-em-ups, stealth, and shooting. Spread across 15 chapters, the majority task you with simply reaching the end of each stage, while murdering everything in sight. Vasily's monk background doesn't limit his capacity for violence, allowing you to punch and kick opponents, as well as parry attacks, wield blunt weapons on the ground, and use firearms, including pistols and shotguns. Controls feel pretty well done, with the stick aiming of shooting, snapping onto enemies with ease, and parry timing feeling natural. And there's a hard edge to combat, which makes killing satisfying. If you shove enemies towards walls, Vasily will begin pounding on them with brutal force, stealth kills see some gruesome executions, and environmental interactions, such as shoving enemies into a furnace, are hard to watch. While Redeemer fires on all cylinders when it comes to combat, the elements surrounding it perhaps aren't as strong. The level design feels basic, with a lot of straightforward paths lacking much in the way of branching routes. From trudging through dark sewers to exploring an underground science facility, the scenery and pathways lack distinction from one another. Luckily, the game doesn't outstay its welcome, clocking in at just shy of 10 hours, so this isn't as debilitating as it sounds. But despite how vicious combat feels, and it does admittedly carry the game above average, you can't help but feel there's a lack of truly memorable moments, fights, or story sequences. Not even a handful of boss encounters add distinction. But for those looking for an undemanding, violent romp, this one is far from the worst. The campaign has 3 difficulties, with hardcore mode proving a decent challenge and requiring you to think about how you kill enemies, with certain executions and stealth often replenishing health. Progress also rewards arena mode, which lets you test out the game's combat in Horde style. Enhanced Edition would bring some important tweaks to the game, including dividing skills up between 2 classes, more balanced levels and, perhaps significantly, co-op play via local multiplayer, which adds a bit of fun to the game and is almost a requirement with beat-em-ups.
I'm not leaving this place without my brothers.
Easy. It's a detour. You'll get to Section Alpha through the ventilation shaft.
I don't trust you.
Good. The feeling is mutual.
Redeemer isn't the best looking Xbox One game out there. There is some stuff to like, including detailed and destructible environments, some effective bloom lighting effects, and nasty use of gore. But on the other hand, animations can be pretty uneven, the colour palette is absolutely drab, and some serious slowdown can leave certain sequences running at almost slideshow speeds. Interestingly, the options allow you to customise the visual fidelity, though it doesn't seem to help iron out the aforementioned issues. The sound is about on par, benefiting from a gruff voiceover for Fazili, but dialogue and lines from secondary characters feel bland. Music ranges from nondescript to decent metal thrashing, and the effects are brutal on the ears. Redeemer Enhanced Edition is an uncompromising return to beat-em-ups of old. This is both its key strength and the root of all its problems. The visceral combat never really becomes tiresome, but the level design and structure fails to support it, lacking a truly memorable moment that sticks with you. Coupled with a mixed presentation, and it sounds like a sure misfire. But with a cheaper price tag, a decent amount of content, and some truly engaging combat, Redeemer is still a worthwhile venture for genre enthusiasts. While Sabaka's effort won't dethrone the classic beat-em-ups of years gone by, those pining for a straightforward, yet brutal, combat crusade may find sanctity in this one.
Monks say that when you meditate, you shouldn't allow your past or fears of the future affect your awareness of the present. It's very hard today.